What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to your daily news show with the main focus tonight, as you can see on the thumbnail, this story that's been blown out of proportion, at least in my opinion, about Marcus Rashford partying, being out until the late hours, etc., straight after a Manchester derby defeat. Although it was his birthday, we're also going to discuss certain changes that are coming under Ineos. I think some of them positions are relatively interesting. I want to dive into that. You've got Ten Hag, who's apparently tore into his troopers. Some certain words being used by Neil Custard, which we want to talk about. And we've got contract talks as well, with a lot of individuals kind of there last year, or they've got a year to extend, which is interesting. I want to see who Sam would get rid of and who we want to keep. But like I said, that will be towards the end, so make sure you stick around for that. As always, get your opinions in the comments section as we go through these topics on the table. Should we just dive straight into it, Sam? Or
yeah, let's do it.
Okay, right. So the Rashford one's obviously the biggest story. Apparently he was out in a club until 3:30 in the morning. He was celebrating his 26th birthday. This was already pre-booked before, obviously, the Manchester derby. And a lot of people saying he shouldn't be out partying, he shouldn't be doing this, he shouldn't be doing that. What is your take on this story, Sam? Your personal opinion?
He's entitled. He's a human being. He's entitled to do whatever he wants in his free time. Isn't he? Really, like if you want to go have a party for your birthday, then that's what you're allowed to do. Nobody's saying you can't. I know there's certain restrictions on footballers, like they can't go skiing or participate in other sort of things.
Try telling Manuel Neuer that, because he went
yeah.
fucking skiing, didn't he?
Well, he wasn't allowed to, but he did. Yeah.
No, he wasn't allowed to.
Yeah. So stuff like that, which I get, because you've got to protect your player and stuff like that. If they get injured, they're out for a season. It costs clubs a lot of money because you're basically paying them to do nothing. So I get all that, but he's allowed to go out. Like, is it a good look on the surface? Probably not, but it's his birthday, so you got to kind of let it slide. Like, we've all had bad days at work or bad days, and if it's our birthday, you want to go out and cheer yourself up, don't you? To be honest, you just want to have a decent time and forget about what happened during the day. I get that everybody's image is, oh, he's celebrating after the... I don't think it's that. I just think he's celebrating his birthday. He was probably still a bit down, to be honest with you, at his party, if anything.
He doesn't strike me as the type of guy to like drink a lot, though. No. He seems very straight edge in that regard.
I saw the story, and the story was it was booked to go on till 3:30, but it's unknown whether he stayed till then anyway. So he might not even stay till 3:30. It's probably not a good idea as an elite athlete to stay out drinking till 3:30 for your physicality. Like, that's probably not a good idea health-wise, but we've all drank and hung over.
We've all been there.
And gone into work, haven't we? So we can't say we haven't. But as a physical athlete trying to remain in their peak, it's probably not a good idea to go out drinking till late at night, but there's nothing illegal. There's nothing to say he's not allowed to and stuff like that. It's just probably, in terms of being at your peak, it's probably not a good idea. I've got no issue with it, but I can see why newspapers are going to run with it. It's a Manchester United player. It's a juicy story. We've just got battered off City. It's basically Talk Sports talking about it for the next 2 weeks, that, isn't it? Like, they can milk that for the next God knows how long. And so many shows.
Grab your bongle hole in front of a microphone and talk about, you shouldn't be out. He's a professional football player. He should be doing this. Like, shut up, cat.
Jack Grealish,
you never went out and got pissed.
Jack Grealish went out on the fucking lash after the treble. I think he went missing for about 3 days. Like, they're all human beings, man. Like, some of them are pissheads. Some of them like to go out. Some like to, like Jadon Sancho, for example, likes to game late at night. I used to do that quite a lot. I'm sure a lot of people who watch this channel do that quite a lot. When it affects you, your job, and you don't show up to work on time, or you don't do the stuff you're supposed to do, then it's a problem. But other than that, if it's not affecting his job, he's allowed to do what he wants.
I do think it's quite an old school way of kind of dealing with it. Obviously, back in the day, Fergie, you heard, fucking stories about being tapped into every club in Manchester and knowing when certain players are being in there and stuff like that. But if it's your fucking birthday, you're down after a Manchester derby defeat, you just want to relax. You just want to take your mind off it. What do people expecting to do, like, Saturday is fucking chewing a Werther's? Like, it's just not reality. And we've all been there, so I think we'd all be hypocrites to say, like, he shouldn't be going out, he shouldn't be doing this. I don't blame him. Hopefully, like I said, this story doesn't fucking get blown out of proportion and just drag on for way too long. People start asking him, about it in a press conference and stuff. So are you happy with Marcus going out? And it's just like it's not
They
no
will
need
though.
for it really.
They will though, because they know that generates clicks. They know it generates
Yeah.
like views and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like you can see it. You've seen it already. Like Talksport were all ready to sort of get on the Ten Hag should be fired and Ten Hag out and all that sort of stuff, and get angry, reactionary fans on the phone calls and stuff like that immediately after that derby, and that was just their content for like the last 3 days. It was just how many angry United fans can we get on to say Ten Hag out, and that's basically what they did. They milked it for the life of it. So don't pay any attention to most newspapers. Don't pay any attention to Twitter for the most part, because it's just full of reactionary takes and reactionary bullshits. And speaking of which, like the amount of people, Messi FC dick riders we've had on our Instagram is my God.
You can't get away from it. It's almost as bad as the Ronaldo fans. Like when Ronaldo left and we had this back and forth with why he should have left, and how he was kind of a detriment to the team, and people are like, I don't care, he scored these goals, he did this. Like,
he's not gonna shag you. Like he doesn't even know you exist. He doesn't care about you. Like just fucking
super fanboy, isn't it?
Let it go.
Well, we've got more and more people joining the chat. I'd love to hear everybody else's thoughts. It's a little bit quiet. Marcus Rashford, is he okay going out doing that? Did it annoy you a little bit? Talk to us. What about Eric Ten Hag in this situation, Sam? How does he react, or how do you think he'll react?
Well, you saw when he turned up late for that meeting before Wolves, he dropped him, didn't he? Garnacho was the same. Like he was turning up late and he's tardy and stuff like that, and he dropped him. Same with Sancho. Sancho was not putting the effort in, so he dropped him. He reacted online, and Ten Hag has basically said, look, you don't come back until you either apologise or you go. So if Rashford went out, and I don't think he stayed out till 3:30, but say he did, and then he comes into work, into training the next day, and he's late or he's not putting in the full effort, I'm sure there'll be consequences, because he would have said to him, I want you 100% training on time, and that's what I ask of you. And that's all any player is asked for. You come to training, you do 100%, and you turn up on time. Yeah. So if that affects that, then I'm sure he'd be reprimanded or dropped or what have you. But if it doesn't affect his performance in training and it doesn't affect his timekeeping, then there's nothing to punish, is there?
Let's be honest, this sounds really harsh, but I don't think he can do much more to affect his performances the way he's been playing at the minute. Yeah. So maybe it'll have the opposite effect and actually give him a bit of a release. You know what I mean?
I know there's a lot of conspiracy theories about his relationship status and how it affects how he plays and stuff like that. Like, I know when he was with his ex-girlfriend last season, he was just absolutely storming it. And then when he broke up with her, his performance fell off a cliff. So it's...
Get back together, please.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, so it's... outside things do influence players. Like no matter what we think, it does affect players. But they're human beings and they have to make correct decisions. And like all of us, sometimes they make the stupid decision. You stay out too late. You know you've got work in the morning, but you do it anyway at the time because it's a good idea, and then you suffer the consequences the next day. That's life, man.
I think it is with Marcus. I think he doesn't show it like Bruno does in terms of petulance, but I think he gets over emotional in a game and he gets like frustrated and he kind of crowds himself out. And I think he needs to start just not being in his own head as much on the pitch, because the performances will come. But because he's from Manchester, he came to the youth academy. He obviously cares about the club. So when especially a game like the Manchester derby, when he got taken off, you could see the reaction to it because he was like fucking just shaking his head and like obviously you could tell he wanted to vent because he was completely pissed off. So I get it, man. I understand it. Like from the human being aspect, I absolutely understand.
Steve Howson said he's had as many shots as Haaland, but obviously he's not scored the goals that Haaland has. So he's getting in the right positions and he's doing the right things, but he's not. His finishing is poor. He's snatching at chances. He's not timing when he takes his shots correctly. Something's going on there where he's getting in the correct positions, but he's making the wrong decisions when it gets into those positions. Because when Haaland gets into those positions, he's making the correct decision pretty much every time. Yeah. And Rashford ain't doing that. So I think that probably has something to do. Like when your mental state or you're not thinking clearly and like calmly, stuff like that, last minute and instinctual stuff gets affected like quite a lot.
Yeah, I think Eric Ten Hag, certainly. I don't think it'll be too harsh on him. I think there may be a little word or whatever. But I can't see him fucking dropping him or anything like that. He's not going to drop him anyway. I mean, he said that in the thingy before. But yeah, I want to talk about Ten Hag actually and the board above him, because there's apparently a lot of changes that are being made if or when Ineos come into power, as you will, with sporting control. So Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos are set to do a full-scale audit of United's football operation, and it is likely to include specialists taking control of player recruitment and Ten Hag sticking to the coaching. Just hearing that, Sam, it's like praise the Lord, right?
How long have we been crying out for like a director of football and a recruitment structure and all that sort of stuff?
10 years.
It's just
really,
it's insane. Like we spoke about it on a show the other week, where it was just like every successful club now has surpassed us in terms of the way they run, because that's how modern clubs are run. Brighton, Villa, Brentford, City, Liverpool, even Chelsea are getting their shit together now. Like, it's still a work in progress, but even they're getting shit together. Every club has a recruitment structure, a director of football, and a chairman, and they're all in sync with the manager and working out, okay, what players do you need? What sort of style are we going for? Develop the youth players, invest in the academy, have recruitment people all over the world, South America, Asia, Africa, all these places. And they compile lists of players. This is how much this guy will be, but his development will be here, except they've got all the metrics, and then they can present them to the director of football and recruitment and be like, right, these are the players I think we should go for. And then they'll go to the manager and be like, okay, this is the list that we've got. What sort of players, positions do you need? He'll be like this, and this. And it's all connected, and it all runs really, really well. Whereas United, at the minute, just go to Eric Ten Hag, okay, who do you want? Which is not how it should work. Like, it shouldn't work that. You should be just like the manager. Yeah. You do the scouting, you find who you want, and you tell us who you want to buy. That it shouldn't work that way. And we've seen he's basically gone for players he's either worked with, he's played against, or he knows from the Dutch league. That's what he's done. And some of them haven't worked, some of them have. So that's what you end up with. You can't do the Fergie model anymore, where he knows everything. He's got all the players. He knows the families and stuff. It's not doable anymore. So I think to get structure in place, like Ten Hag had at Ajax, he had that structure. He had Van der Sar and Overmars above him, sorting that stuff out so he could concentrate on the football. And look what he did at Ajax. He won them a title for the first time in ages, won them cups and stuff like that. So he needs that above him so he can concentrate on coaching this team and getting us to winning ways on the pitch. We've put far too much responsibility on him, I think far too much. I think he did well last season, and they've just gone, oh, this guy's amazing. Let's just give him everything, which is just not the best idea. Like, Klopp doesn't have total free reign at Liverpool. Pep doesn't have total free reign at City, and these are two of the best managers in the world. They don't have free reign, so they have people to answer to and people that they rely on. So I don't understand why United don't have that.
How much of an effect do you think it's had on the season in terms of when you talk about percentages and how the season has gone? How much of that, because he's got too much responsibility, plays a part in the way the season's gone?
It's definitely a significant portion. I think injuries is the biggest thing. Not having that solid back four the entire season is the biggest thing, I think. And then certain players underperforming who were significantly important last season, that's another one. But yeah, he must be being pulled in about 8 different directions and working 14-hour days and stuff just to keep the club running. And then by that point, how much time does he actually have left for like coaching and tactics and stuff like that if he's just constantly thinking about other stuff and having to deal with other stuff?
Talk about working over your salary, innit? Fucking hell. Yeah. Like, he must be putting in the hours at the moment. I mean, not just the recruitment, but like, there must be other things that need. I mean, I'm not there every day, obviously, so I don't know, in terms of nutritionists and chefs and even the medical department now. They said that they sorted that out and they've brought this guy in, and we've seemed to have got worse. So I don't know if that change has actually made a difference or if that's just a combination of the minutes we played last season. So this seems like there's more changes other than recruitment. I don't just want to see a Paul Mitchell come in and everyone thinks, right, this is fine and dandy. Do what you do. I saw some news. I don't know if you saw it this morning or yesterday. It may have been that we've got someone in from Cardiff. I think it was a recruitment expert from Cardiff, I believe. I mean, I don't know why you get one from Cardiff. I mean, he might be good. I haven't looked into it, but just I don't know. It feels like we've just slung it out on Indeed, and it's like anyone fucking apply for it. So it's a little bit strange to me, but. Yeah, I hope Ineos can have a big effect going forward, because that's we've got no choice really, have we? So hopefully, it should go the way we think it does. Eric Ten Hag, Sam, sticking with him. There's a story again. This is fucking coming out from Neil Custard again. I think it was about and the choice of words he uses and certain things like. Tore into the Ten Hag tore into the troopers and little things like this. He always emphasises little points. And I've got my own beef with Neil Custard. That's a slightly different thing. But he's come out with this story. He's saying that Ten Hag absolutely blitzed the players after the City game, in doing extra video analysis, extra homework, not having a day off now, even though it was promised to him. What was the main issue in that game, do you think, Sam? Why? I know we did. I know there's multiple things. I know we did a review after it, but just looking back on it now, what was the main thing why we were so poor in that?
I don't know if I can come up with one main thing.
Well, what's the most worrying thing watching it, do you think?
A lack of some of the decisions Ten Hag made was bizarre. I don't get it. Like the selection, first of all, with when you got Reguilon and Varane on the bench and you put in Maguire, Evans and Lindelof at left back, that's a weird decision to me. Very bizarre decision. And we were only down by 1 goal in the first half due to a very dodgy penalty. I know it's technically a foul, but if you're going to give them, you're going to be giving them all day. So
give everyone. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
So did you agree with his comment then in that regard that he said that the first half went to plan aside from the penalty? If that penalty didn't happen,
we weren't great in the first half. Don't get it twisted. We're not good, but we had some opportunities. There was some opportunities there that on another day we could put them in the back of the net and we could go a goal, 2 goals up, something like that. You never know. But the penalty put us down. But other than that, I thought we were in the game as the word. If you're 1-0 down with 10, 15 minutes to go, you're still in the game. You still have a chance, especially against the best team in Europe, arguably in the world in a minute, in Manchester City. And then the tactical decision to take Amrabat off was bizarre. I don't understand that decision. Take Amrabat off when you could have took Eriksen off, you could have took Scott McTominay off. If you wanted to bring on Mount and do something, I would have kept Amrabat on because as soon as he took him off, our midfield just seemed to be cut wide open and they just went on as well. I think they literally scored 5 minutes after the restart. I think it was 49, 50 minutes after we restarted. And it's just after that, you're fighting a losing battle and you're sort of pushing a ball uphill, aren't you, after that with 2-0 down. And there was a couple of warnings with that, and I think to do with Lindelof, and I think Dalot got absolutely dominated as well, which I think had to do with Bruno playing on that right-hand side rather than if Anthony, I don't like Anthony at all, but if Anthony plays out, he gets back and he tracks back and he does the dog work on that wing. Dalot was getting torn apart and there was 3 times where Bernardo Silva and he literally walks past our players midfield onto that right-hand side, Foden plays that ball in and he gets, I think he did the cross 3 times before Haaland scored. One of them, Onana made a save. The other one, I think a defender got to him, and then the third time, Haaland unmarked at the back post, puts in the back of the net, and we were warned. Several times we were warned, and we didn't heed it. So tactically, I think there was a couple of mistakes, selection-wise, a couple of mistakes, and then you know what United are like. As soon as we go a goal down, or at least 2 goals down, our edge drop, and we can't be asked. Mentality. We've got no fight, no mentality, and we just went, fuck this. And we never saw in the second half, it never looked like we were going to try and come back into the game. Never looked like it.
I think it's just the quality for me. You look at the lineups before the game and the players in City's team, their back. As soon as I saw their back 3, I think me and Strayaz was doing the pretty much build up, and they had Gvardiol, Kyle Walker and Ruben Diaz at the back, it's like we are not going to cause them any problems at all, because Walker on that right-hand side will sweep up. He's done it against Mbappe. He's done it against Vinicius, who are far better players than Rashford. Rashford just has the speed, and he can't even beat Walker with that. And we've seen that a few times, like Walker recover, and he struggles. He really struggles against him. And then the rest of the team, it's just like, it's so, I think the quality was so big, and we spoke about that, didn't we, after the, in the review with me and Shiver. It's so much. It's like, I never even expected us to win that game anyway. And that's worrying, because Ten Hag has signed, how many players now? 8, 10 players, I think, something like that, with loans included. I know quite a few of them are injured, but that's the thing. It just felt like we regressed rather than progressed, because we beat them last season. So
it's worrying as well. Like you were saying, because I looked it up actually. When Ten Hag came to the club, Richard Arnold, I think he said, excited to bring Ten Hag to the club. He plays an attacking, not transitional, attacking something form of football, and that's what we want at Manchester United. And then when he was asked when are we going to see the Ajax style of play, he said never, because I haven't got the players to do it. And like, you brought Onana in, who you worked at Ajax with. You've got Donny van der Beek, who I know hasn't done well, but he was in that Ajax team, was integral to it. Anthony played in that Ajax team. Lisandro Martinez played in that Ajax team. Eriksen's very capable of that. You brought Mount in to say he's going to be your main man and he can do that sort of stuff. Amrabat's played underneath you at Utrecht with a similar style. Why can't he do that style? He's got the players, so why can't he? I don't get that comment.
The difference is the leagues. The Eredivisie, it's much easier to implement that style and have full control when you're playing against, I don't know, Willem 2 and Vitesse and, you know, teams like this that are just like not even Europa League fodder. It is much easier to assert your dominance in that 10%.
We should be able to assert our dominance on Sheffield United and fucking
Wolves. That's one.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
but then you have to have a style over a full league, don't you? So regardless whether you're playing Man City, I know you can tweak things and stuff like
adapt
that. But
it. Like if you play City, you can play.
Well, you seen him do that. He did that last season.
That's what I'm saying. To him. But now when he went to City, he decided he was going to try and dominate the ball against City. It's just like, it ain't going to happen. Like, you haven't got the midfield legs to do it. So I didn't understand that. And then, but against Sheffield United, you should be able to impose your game against Sheffield United. They're fucking terrible. Should be able to do it against Burnley. They're fucking terrible. I don't get it.
For me, honestly, I think if you look at, you know, when Rodri went out of City's team, they lost 3 out of 4 games when he was out of it. So your whole tactical plan, you have to tweak it. Calvin Phillips comes in, just simply cannot do that job. So when we have Casemiro, Shaw, Lisandro, all these guys missing, it affects your team so much. Like, I can't stress it how much it does. And that's why, even against Sheffield and teams like this, we can't control games because we don't have players like that. We have to bring in McTominay, who, let's be honest, can score a goal or whatever, but possession-wise and showing for the ball and things like that, he's shit. He's so basic level at it. So that equally, so it's just the performances are going to drop down. It's as simple as that for me.
I don't see us, even when we get these players back, I don't see us improving. I don't see us getting better. But I just think the mentality of the club at the minute and the mood of the club is so bad and so toxic. I just think this is going to be, do you remember under Ragnick where we were just dragging ourselves like the Terminator when his legs are cut off fucking through the thing? This is what this season's going to be like, I think. I don't see an upturn this season from United. I don't see where it comes from.
I don't know, for whatever reason, people might call it hopeless optimism, but I don't see us getting Champions League, I don't think. I do think the performances will improve naturally when the players get back, because, I mean, Luke Shaw's played, 2 games? I think Lisandro equally, only had a handful of games before he went out. Wan-Bissaka's been out for a long time. Casemiro, there was just changes everywhere. So there was no consistency at all. And I just look at Erik Ten Hag. I would have done the same thing if I was him. If I came in last year and you saw the shit that happened under Ollie and Ragnick, etc., and then you look at the individual personnel that's in that team, you would have to tap into the counter-attacking principles to get wins. He did it. Like Brighton, Brentford last season, tried playing out from the back, and we got battered. Me and you did the watch on.
I agree. I agree with you.
Absolutely battered. So you have to switch it up. You have to go more direct and transitional football, and it won't change overnight.
I think the mood and in certain play, like I said this after the City game, certain players need to go.
Yes, I agree with
Certain
that.
players need to go because
Big players as well.
as long as you keep these players at this club, we are not going to improve.
I probably
I
Bruno and Rashford being some of them.
Like there's got to be big calls to be made. Like certain players have to go because they are not helping this club. They're not helping the club.
Whilst we're on the topic of that, the next kind of thing we want to discuss was contract talks. And there's a couple of in fact, I just want to play a game. Whose contract would you extend, right? So we've got Anthony Martial, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Hannibal, and Tom Heaton, and then we've got loans in Amrabat and Evans, who obviously expire at the end of the year. So out of that pool of players, who would you keep?
Amrabat I'd keep and extend his.
You think he's shown enough so far?
I don't think he's been given enough opportunity yet. I think we need to see what he's got, but I would sign him because I've seen enough at Fiorentina and in the World Cup. I think he's got something. I think he just needs time in the league. And I don't think he'd cost that much either. I don't think he'd be that.
Yeah, it's like expensive. 20 mil in it, isn't it, I think.
Like just take the risk and take the punt. This is not a 80-90 million pound signing where it all rides on him.
It'll be announced like one, best believe it, in the summer when we ain't got that budget and we're on FFP restrictions.
Exactly. I love Johnny Evans, what he did at United, and he seems like a great guy, and he seems like he's good to have around the club. But we should not be extending that contract.
No,
we shouldn't have even signed him, to be honest. If he was going to stick around and do his coaching badges and do all that stuff, then fine. But we should have signed a centre back. We should have got in a Tadibo or something like that. Yeah, should have got that. That's ridiculous. Martial, do we need to go through this? He's done in it. He's done. He's been done for 2 seasons.
He actually walks because he gets injured that frequently. He actually walks on a pitch now when he gets on. Like he hasn't got he can't press. Do
you see how long he takes to? No, when the Ten Hag tells him to get ready to go on. Do you see how long he takes? Like it literally takes about 20 minutes to. I'm like, get rid of this guy. Like
crazy.
The potential. Like everybody keeps talking about on his day. When's his fucking day? When is his day?
I can't remember. The last good bit of football I've seen from him was when he came on against Bayern in that last 10 minutes and he actually shook things up a little bit and got a couple of goals back. That's the only cameo I've seen from him where he's done well.
Just get rid of him. Just get rid. Wan-Bissaka, I think, has redeemed himself and deserves another shot. Because if Dallow's got
long-term contract?
Nah, I'd give him 2 year, maybe. Something like that. Or activate a year extension. Whatever it is, I don't know.
I think that's what they're going down because it said that these talks have gone quiet. They was going to give him a new contract, but now they're kind of backing off that a little bit and saying that they might extend it. I don't know if that is Ineos or whatever.
I wouldn't have signed Dallo to a new contract. I don't get that one. He's not it for me. He doesn't. I don't see what it is that Ten Hag sees in him. I would have sold him and brought in Frimpong or somebody like that and kept Wan-Bissaka because I think Wan-Bissaka has something that no other defender has. He's one of the best one-on-one defenders in the league and nobody else has that. So I would have kept in Dallo. He's decent at a lot of things, but he's not world-class at anything. So I would have got rid of him. Who else was on that list?
Hannibal, Tom Heaton.
Heaton, keep around because he's not going to play, is he?
Third choice, isn't it?
He seems like a decent backup keeper when he has played. I think he helps coaching with the young goalkeepers and stuff like that, so that's fine. And I imagine he's not on that much money either. And he's a lifelong red, so.
Yeah.
Hannibal, I need to see more. I need to see more of him.
It was weird because he got that stint in the team, didn't he? A good string of games. His pressing was really, really good. Looked, intense, and then it was just no, straight out the team again.
Yeah,
not a sniff since.
Yeah, I need to see more of him. If he goes, I'm not going to be too upset. If all the youth players, say all the young players, and they were we're going to release this person, he wouldn't be high on my list of don't get rid of him. If he goes, he goes. I'd be pissed off if they say they got rid of Kobe Mainoo or something. That'd be infuriating. I would probably be more annoyed when James Garner went to Everton. That annoyed the fuck out of me. So
that's why I won't be surprised if they got 15 mil for Hannibal or something.
Yeah. Like if he goes, he goes. I haven't seen anything world class or anything like a Garnacho level where you're like, this dude's got something, or like that Ahmad, like this guy's got something from him yet. Works hard, aggressive, can score, good passer of the ball. But if he wants to stick around and be a squad player, fine. But I'm not that bothered.
You mentioned Kobbie Mainoo there, just a quick just literally as you said it, the notification came up. So Kobbie Mainoo's starting tonight for Manchester United under-21s versus Salford, and kickoff is in 30 minutes. So I don't think he'll play the game on Wednesday, which I'm gutted about because I really, really wanted to see him alongside of Casemiro in that game.
I put him in my first 11.
Yeah, but he seems like he's taking his time with him in it. Like the last thing you want, because of the promise he was showing, is to rush him back. So I kind of understand it, but yeah, I'm being a bit selfish there. I want to see these players that are coming back into the fold, like your Ahmads and your Kobbie Mainoos. I want to see him. I want to see more football because Antony has been dreadful. So put Ahmad on that right hand side, and I absolutely guarantee he does better and shows more than Antony does.
I don't think, like, in terms of how bad Antony's been. He's been really bad. And then Bruno, I'm so sick of it. Like him on the right hand side, I fucking hate it.
Shit, awful.
I don't think Pellistri deserves to be dropped. I know he lacks something at the end products, like his physicality and
I know what you mean.
I know that, but I don't think he works his fucking ass off, gets back, defends, causes fullbacks problems and stuff. I don't think he deserves to be dropped. And he had that couple of games, didn't he, where he played and then he just like Hannibal, and I don't get it.
The issue is, though, with that, Sam, is the politics behind it. Like, you've already seen board level now moaning that Mason Mount isn't getting as many minutes and he's diminishing his price. And I think they'd probably say the same with Antony. Like, you've spent £85 million on this player and you're playing Pellistri over him consistently. So there's a lot of back and forth, I imagine, between the board where they're saying, like, you told us to get this player. So
it's so stupid, though, isn't it? Because Pep can blow fucking tons of money on like Calvin Phillips and then not play him at all. Nobody says a fucking word. Nobody cares. Yeah. But Ten Hag drops Mason Mount or Antony or something like that, and the board kick off. It's like, this is a reason why we need a director of football or Paul Mitchell or something like that, because you lot don't know fucking anything about football.
Yeah, very, very true. I think the game tomorrow is going to be interesting to see how we perform in that one and who gets minutes, who starts, and what changes have been made. Of course, we will have the pre-match build-up for that and a post-match review as well, as always. So make sure you do come and join us. Turn on the notification bell so you know when we go live. Also, for members as well, if there's any of you in the chat or if you're watching this later on, there is a Halloween special drop-in tonight. I did it before. Very, very funny. A lot of stuff went into it. There's some AI art. There's loads of mad shit in it. But it's a good watch. So make sure you do tune in for that. We've got a comment there from Jeff. My name's Jeff. Saying Eric Ten Hag seems to be stressed. However, I don't want these same jokers, MGMT, make any football decisions. MGMT, who's that?
Management. Like
management,
like the board members and stuff. I think that's what.
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking about fucking Richard Arnold and John Murtaugh, I mean, we're absolutely there with you, mate. You don't need to worry about that. You need to bring in new people, and I think Laurie Whitwell put an article out there saying that his job's probably gone, Richard Arnold. Good. So we do expect some changes. But yeah, sorry, members video. Make sure you check it out. Let us know your thoughts. I need you to get in the comments section because suggestions for Halloween pun players, stadiums, managers, etc. So do check that out. And yeah, leave a like on the video for us. Me and Sam will see you tomorrow for the game. Take care.
Peace out.
Peace.